All right, guys, what's going on? Today is Thursday, the 3rd of February, and we had a pretty heavy news event day today. So I'm just going to run through that quick. I have to get off here pretty soon. So I'm just going to try and do a quick run through and hopefully explain everything in pretty good detail. Okay. So, first of all, 500 subs today. Just so grateful. I woke up to that and I was just like, oh man, what an amazing thing. It's like, started this just with the intention of putting myself or putting my stuff online and testing online and just um, trying to keep myself accountable and to have in less than or in like a month have 500 people here with in like such a great environment, like so positive, and everyone's kind of pushing each other to succeed. And I don't know, it's just something incredible that was kind of this second order consequence of starting this, and I just never expected. So thank you guys so much, and I'm just going to keep trying to do what I can do and help everyone out as much as I can. So thank you guys again, and let's just jump into today. So the idea was that I was anticipating that we could have a reaction from 12950 down, but majority, or I was thinking that because of the weekly cycle, I'm really looking for the high of the day to get taken. I'm just going to be analyzing this level right here. Okay. So you can see that 13300 was the price where we called the high of the day yesterday. That's what we were anticipating on high of the day yesterday. And we got this nice short opportunity, which a bunch of us took. I know a lot of you guys did. So again, super excited about that. And then what else do we have? On the lower time frames, you can see that we bounced off that level and we came back in. So this was the level here, right where price is when I started recording, where I said, look, I don't think that this daily low is going to get broken, because again, if we break this daily high, if we're anticipating this daily high to get rated, it's very unlikely that the same daily low will get rated as well. So I was anticipating that price was going to at least come back up and to start taking up. Well, I was anticipating that we were at least going to come take out this daily high here, the previous day high. But really, ultimately looking at this, because let me just get the annotation tool out here quick. Because in the sell model, you have consolidation, you have a sweep of significant highs, you have break of structure, and then right here you have your inducement, right? So if it's going to sell, it's very likely that it's going to happen from up in this range. There's actually a little tiny imbalance right there, so potentially even higher up there. But ultimately, that's still a huge chunk. It's actually just another half of what already happened. And this one was a huge chunk after sweeping the monthly liquidity pool. Okay. So that's what I was anticipating. And that's why I was predominantly bullish. And like I said here I think there was a sell from up here, there was a sell from here, and there was a sell from here. All of which I said, guys, just be careful, because all this is just pullbacks to me. If this is going to be a bullish week, which it is, we should be anticipating high of the week put on Thursday or Friday, right? High probability is going to be Thursday or Friday. So if that's the case, then obviously we want to be taking it up to here. And that's how you kind of use the weekly cycles to your advantage. So let's go. What else did I say here? I think there was one before it quickly. Yeah. So again, that was that 12950. I said we can either break and hit here and just go down to the deeper level, or we're going to use this. This is going to be our price swing right here. And we're going to be targeting the previous day highs here. We had a weekly high up here. We had a bunch of daily highs up here. And so really looking into that level, but just marking out the higher time frame breaker. And obviously the retracement OT is just the retracement between like the 62 and the 79. That's just going to be the retracement on the higher time frame. I just want to have it there just in case, right? Just so I remember that we're in that level. If we start getting some sell setups from up here, then, just to remind myself, yeah, we are in pretty deep discount, and we did take out some serious liquidity pools up here. So you can see right here, we take out this daily liquidity, beautiful retrace back into this where the volume initiated from. And so of course we want to see a retracement back into that. And then we want to see some reaction. And so finally, there was this one on the smaller time frame. And again, the thing that I really liked about price going up was this, right? We had some consolidation here. We had that sweep right at the beginning of the day. And then we had 1, 2, 3. And then we just had this kind of consolidation, right? And we're just building up liquidity up here. So I was really adamant more so on the upside, especially because we use this as inducement right here. We took out this low. And so there was two options. Either we get down into this order block here, and let me just clear everything so you can see it. Either we're going to get into this order block because it really wasn't tapped, or we're going to get down to the extreme here, and there's this nice imbalance and inducement right there. So those were my two options. The way that this was going up, you see this really just like equal lows, like no wicks, no nothing. You can see when we turn, it's usually with a nice wick, right? Nice wick. Right here, we just have these kind of equal lows. So as soon as we were getting this really quick move, this really inefficient move up into this level, I was really just anticipating that we were going to come back up into this and then mitigate to continue back down to take out this low. That was the idea, especially because we had the 4-hour order block right there. So that being said, let's go and see the day. So you can see we're at that 4-hour level right now. I took a short right here, and then I realized it was news, so I closed it. Right, so partials and break even on that, just a little 1R, and then I said, yeah, didn't realize it was news. And you can see 2 minutes after, because I literally closed it, and then I found it was news. I closed it, and then I posted this. And again, I just showing some personal experience of when I was trading monetary policy, went in the wrong direction, got stopped out 10 times my risk. And then, yeah, of course, right from that level, right, we see that, and you can see the sell model, like I was saying, on the higher time frame. You can see that we had a sweep here, right? We come back down here. We have a nice breaker actually right here as well, just for extra confluence. This order block right here, imbalance up above, inducement, and you can see right there. So consolidation, sweep, inducement, boom, boom, just like that. Super simple. And that's exactly what we were looking at. You can see the OTE levels lined up perfectly with that 4-hour order block. It also lines up perfectly with that imbalance fill. Well, just above it. You can see we wicked above it, closed within it, and then targeting our first level at 12690. That would have been the first target, again, just below those lows. So that's what I was anticipating at the beginning of the day. Then I wanted to see right here where I said, look at Euro, really, it didn't even break the previous day's lows. We just mitigated the most extreme point. We induced it right here. We're getting that reaction post news event. I do believe that we're going to be coming up and targeting that. This isn't the weekly high. Actually, it's just the previous day high. I don't know. I accidentally dragged that down there on the 1-300s. Again, excuse my dog. Someone's, again, knocked at the door. And you can see here, this is what I was looking at, right? Consolidation, sweep, break up. And you can see inducement, tag, and then go. This is going to be the week high target at that previous day high. So now we have really a lot of confluence lining up, but I was just saying that I can see both buys and sells. Again, being completely transparent. I wasn't entirely convinced at this point in time right here that we were going to go up. I saw the reaction here, and now I'm thinking, okay, going up is likely to be the next move, but I'm not too sure yet. I don't have any confirmations. Now I waited for confirmations. Okay. And this was just saying the opposite scenario that I pointed out in the beginning of the day. And then I got my confirmation here. And so you can see, look at the time right here, 8:25 UTC5. We're around that right here. So this is in live time that I took this, and I was looking at entering at that imbalance there and targeting that high. And so essentially what happened is I took that. Again, this is on demo, by the way, because of course I don't trade the news events. I'm just here to study and see what's going on. That's why I said, when I demo ball, I smack 300 in a day for some reason, right? So what ends up happening, we hit that, boom, we break structure. We have this little imbalance, breaker block, come back down, feed into it. That's when I entered again. And then finally, you can see, yeah, this is when it just started rallying off. And I took the last photo right here, right at 8:38. And then I just got off the computer for a little bit. And when I came back, it was right. Oh, wait, sorry. It was right here. Okay. So we swept the daily high, came into that OTE, took out that weekly high. And I was looking at these to get rinsed and then up in here to get filled, right? This gap. So that's what I was looking at. And then I was like, yeah, wow, guys, I'm sorry I didn't take those longs. Not really, because of course, like I don't trade news. It's just a part of the rules. It's just funny because, like, of course, when you demo trade and stuff like that, you hit 45R in a single day, and you know, it is what it is. I won't go through that because we already did that today. I don't want to give that any more of my time, to be honest. So again, start of the day, like this is where you're at, right? You can't just assume. I don't think it's best to assume that you're just going to absolutely rinse and blow up above everything. I think you have to just take levels for what they are. I know that we swept the monthly level. And so I know that it's going to be searching lower time frame liquidity, i.e. the daily or weekly or whatever. And so daily liquidity really to me is right there. And so I want to see this imbalance get filled. However, I have to be aware of the fact that there's a breaker here and there's a nice order block in between, and price can just start melting back down. I know that that's a possibility. However, going with our weekly cycle and our daily structure, the daily development here, of course, I'm going to be looking at the next imbalance fill. And right, you can see, right, when you make higher highs and higher lows, right, this low should be preserved, this high should be taken out. This low should be preserved, this high should be taken out. It's the same thing with the daily candles, right? We create a low here, we have a high. We have a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So if we're in this bullish kind of structure on the daily and on the weekly, we should maintain that and we shouldn't be breaking this daily low. That's essentially my thought process through it. And again, anticipating that Thursday is going to be the high of the week. If that's the case, then what do we have here? We have a daily liquidity target right there, right? The previous day high. We also have a significant liquidity pool resting right here. And then previous week high, or not previous week high, but, oh wait, is it? Let's see. It might be a previous week high. I thought the previous week high. Yeah, okay. So it's just a weekly high. It's not a previous week high. So I'm just going to change that quick. Okay, so we have a weekly high up there. Cool. And now, so those are going to be our upside liquidity targets. Of course, I wasn't anticipating that we were going to reach this today. I figured now because of news, it's a potential, but I didn't actually think that we were going to go and run all that today, to be totally honest. But that's fine. So now we were looking at this being our main zone here, right? That 4-hour level. And again, from our shorts from yesterday, they were kind of just consolidating here. You can see I entered literally from within this wick. You can go check that out. There was also another opportunity right here. Again, you can check that out on Telegram. But yeah, again, let's just run through what was going on here. So I'm just going to fast forward to London here. And so one of the things that I would be mindful of is you have this sweep on Asia, sweep on New York or London close level. But ultimately what I'm seeing here is we see a sweep within Asia, and we see kind of a sell model forming. I also have targets down to the sell side that are potentially going to be hit, right? You can see the 1, 2, 7, 8, 8. Look at that respect that we got there. And that's what caused, that was where this price leg turned. So we have this beautiful support and resistance zone. What do we know that rests under or at support and resistance zone? Liquidity. And so essentially this level is going to be targeted. We have a nice imbalance underneath. So the way that I'm thinking about this is either two scenarios. One, price is going to come back down and respect this order block here. Or two, we're going to get to the most extreme point. Those are going to be my downside targets. Do I have any confluence with this price leg right here? Well, let's just see. This is going to be our main swing high here personally that I see. So yeah, you can see right there that we come back up into this order block right here, also at the 62. We target now down at the negative 0.5. Look, that lines up beautifully with that target. So that would be my target for sure. We can kind of refine this. And if this is now our next strong high here, and now we go down to our low here, well, we can take it from here to here. And you can see again, negative 0.5. So we're getting some serious confluence in and around this level, in and around this sell side liquidity pool right here. So that's what I would be looking at. And again, the big figure 2,800. And then additionally, I'd be looking at this too, right? Look at that. You can see that this one lines up just gorgeously with that, the 1.2710, just gorgeous. Additionally, when we look at this, if I just move this as well, just to see if there's any extra confluence, boom, 0.5 lines up perfect with that. And then this one goes down to here. And if I just go down to the 5-minute, I'm sure you can probably refine this a little bit more, maybe just down to the last sell to buy there. And you can see it's basically in that level right at 1.2700s. So you can refine that if you want. I would personally just leave it like this because again, I don't really care too much to refine. I just want to see if it gets tagged and then we can start to see the development. Additionally, what can we see here? We can see, if I just take this off again, you know that the OTE levels are right there, right? Where you would anticipate price to respect. What do we have right in that same level? We have an imbalance. It didn't even get 50% of it right here, right? If I just mark this fair value gap right here, and you see this inducement right here, that's inducing this rebalance up there. And at the same time, right at that level, at that fair value gap, we have what? An order block right here. If I just put on the POI, You can see, and right at that 50%, we're at it. But however, we did already test that in that body. So honestly, what I would be looking for is that 50% level. And you can see, yeah, in that 50% level, and I would just mark this whole thing out. So let me just do this quickly. Again, that was the last up candle, right? That took out this liquidity pool. So we come back down. Again, we know that we're probably going to get back up into that level. Okay, so boom, we do, and we reject. So now we have our inducement that just got taken, inducing or providing the liquidity into this imbalance to rebalance that out. And now if we go down to this smaller time frame, what do we see? Again, I don't trade London, but it's just a we just want to test anyways, right? We want to test it out here. And essentially what we see is that we have that sweep. We have another sweep here. We have consolidation here. We have consolidation here. And we have this inefficient move down. Let's see if we get some high or some institutional sponsorship, which is, you can see it out of this move, right? There's obviously some serious liquidity that's getting injected into the market right here, some serious dollars that are getting injected to seek liquidity or to push price. And so ultimately what I want to see is that this holds like this, right? This is going to be your order block. It did grab liquidity. We did break structure. We broke a nice swing low here. So this is really beautiful in my opinion. And at the same time, we also have this nice imbalance on the 5 minute, just like that. Again, I don't have to refine anymore because again, this lines up perfectly with that 50%, that order block right there. So what I can do is just set it like this. And ideally what I would want to wait for is my, again, I can actually change my stop loss if I want, to just either this breaker block, or if you want to be a little bit riskier, you can put it just above that wick, because this wick really shouldn't get mitigated. If I look on the 3 minute, you can see that's the end of the imbalance flow. I would honestly put it right here. Your stop right there. There you go, 3.7 pips. If you want to put a little bit more for spread on, say you have a 0.3 for spread, just add that on your shorts for on the stop loss side. Okay, and you can see actually it was hit right there. Let's go. I don't know why that stopped there, or why that the replay tool kind of messed up. But you can see what I want to see is a nice inducement into that zone, right? A nice short-term high that gets swept if we're looking for shorts. And you can see right here, short-term high swept. We built equal low liquidity right there. And now again, first target is going to be down at the 80s level, right? That's going to be just underneath this liquidity pool right there into this level right there. And so let's run it. Boom. You can see right here, right? This candle did the sweeping, right? This candle did the sweeping. It breaks down. Therefore, this is a valid order block. So if price comes back up into this imbalance right here, you can take it, right? You can take it, and look at that. As soon as price comes back up, it sweeps up into it. Again, if I was taking the 50%, you wouldn't have gotten tagged in for sure. However, if you're just taking anywhere in that imbalance, you could have definitely taken it. Okay. But again, that's not what I do. I want to see if there's confluence. Sorry, I couldn't get the words out there. See if there's confluence between the 50% or the fill and that order block. And that's usually what I like to see. So that's just personal preference. Up to you though. Do whatever you want, whatever works with your strategy. Okay. And so that's that. So if I just take this off for the day, now what do we see again without cluttering our charts too much, right? We always want to be reassessing and making sure we're on the right side. We can see that we have liquidity pool here, Asian liquidity pool. So that's going to be a strong liquidity pool. We also have London high right up here. And really all of the downside liquidity that I can see has been taken. So sure, I do still see the potential that we go short one more time, right? And this is actually where I went short because of the time, right? I don't trade London. However, what I was seeing was that this was a potential for price to come back down here, or at least come back down a little bit further. And I know it really should come back down a little bit further to fill some more imbalance, or get down to here and use this as an inducement. So that was my thinking. And then right at 7 a.m., we had a really inefficient move start coming up here. And that's what really like drove me to want to take shorts here. I started to see how very equal lows type this bottom was. You can see usually when we have a nice big reversal, right? You get what? You get some wicking, right, at these levels. You get some nice wicking at these levels, showing some stop hunts and stuff like that. And ultimately right here was just kind of even. And then we see this very inefficient move up again into where, right? If I'm looking at it just from this perspective right here, to me, we have, again, a sweep of Frankfurt high right here. We have this big sweep candle. So this is, to me, my range. And so if I'm looking for shorts, I should be looking for something up in there, right? If I'm looking, so let's see if we have any confluences. Again, the fib is just an area, or to kind of point out where you should be looking for potential opportunities, right? Either in the extreme point, or maybe there's some inducement around here that you can be looking at, stuff like that. Okay, so that's why I use it. I don't use it as I rely on it. It's just more of an idea of, okay, yeah, this is where I'm going to be, looking to see if there's anything. And so the first thing that I saw was this. We have this sweep of structure, okay, sweep of structure, breakdown, and you can see right here that we had an inducement in front of it, nice imbalance. Again, it just goes with the rules that there's a little bit more imbalance here. So I'm just going to be looking to see if price is going to return from there. Additionally, I can also see, because the 79, right, percent retracement is just right here. I can see price just sweeping that, because additionally what we have right here is this last order block that swept liquidity, this breakdown. Yes, we did mitigate here, but we still have imbalance up in here into this kind of hidden base. Okay, so if I just point that out and mark that out, you can see ultimately these are going to be the two levels that I'm eyeing. And honestly, you can just mark it right up to this wick, because that's where the volume is going to probably be. So if I just take out that right there and I go down, you can see, right, we can turn it just to that. We can fix it and refine it. And we have this nice clean leg here. This is exactly what I want to see. We're coming up to a point of interest. And yeah, so we come up again, super inefficiently. This is actually where I was like really wanting to react, or wanting price to go. And I could have just done that and then put my stop above here, right? I could have easily just done that and then just target here. And, but instead I was just like, you know what, I'll wait to see if we get a reaction off this one. And if we do, then I'll take it down. And then if we get, I'll be aggressive with the take profit and everything, because I can still see this coming up like this and then going down. That was my idea. And the reason why I say that is because we have this nice little imbalance fill / hidden base right here that I was looking at price at least filling from here. And so just looking at it here, what do we see? We saw an immediate consumption like that. Once I started to see this next candle, boom, I started to see again, just what I do every single time. And like I've been talking about, I just have this nice imbalance here. This was that last up candle that took out this liquidity and also mitigated. And so essentially I'm just looking at this holding, and look what happens. It's right at the 50%. I actually just took it right off of the fill this time though, because again, this would be a shallow retrace. And then again, my stop was just above this high right here at 4 pips. And I said, if this is going to go down, I would love to see it just start taking out this level and then going to our second target at the 2,700. But the way that it was developing, I just didn't like it. And so I actually just took it out I took out 50% here. And then once I saw the news events, once I became aware of the news events, I just took it out completely. So it tagged me in there and then went down straight there. And then right here, it was when I took it out and I was like, shit, the news events are happening. Okay. So that one I closed basically break even, right? Just 1 hour, nothing to show off about. Then what happens? We have this consolidation, this sweep, this inducement, inducement, sweep into this order block, come back down, target the weak low, boom. Where, again, deeper into this fill, we take that out now, take out that liquidity. Now we have equal highs resting above here. Okay, so the flow of the market was definitely still seeking that last upside one more time. And you can see, boom, as soon as we get above that, you have your order block confirmed, and then it tags it and runs. So this one right here, again, you could have easily taken this one if you traded news events, which again, I don't. And this would have been really aggressive to put your stop above here, just above this high right here, if you're especially on a news event. So I would have definitely put it at, like, this would have been your strong high point up here if you wanted to do that. or at least get a little bit of protection from one order block above there. If that's the case, then you would have taken that down to here minimum, and that would have been your target. I really like the imbalances going on here, and I like these kind of equal lows. And you can see that it just immediately drops down, and that was it for the downside for today. At this point, just like I said in the Telegram you guys saw earlier, at this point I was looking at bullish only after I saw it respect this extreme level. And so from here, I think it was the 15-minute that you guys saw. Yeah, it was something around like this where I drew the arrows from here, where I was like, yeah, like now the next level that I'm looking for is I just see all this buy side liquidity pool, right? London high, we have Asian high, we just have these equal highs up here, and then we have the previous day high, right? I can just take that off, right? So you have the daily high. And now you have essentially, you have this being your swing point from this low to this high. And you can see, look at the bodies, right? If I even go up on higher time frames, you'll start to see that, oh, the bodies are really kind of closing within that level. If you chose this level instead, then, you know, you'd be fine with that as well. Again, there's a little bit of ambiguity between which one you can choose in this case, but because I knew that London low was probably going to hold because that was the previous day low, I would have just chosen this one, to be totally honest. And that's why I did choose this one. I knew that we had some support kind of right there. I knew that we had a nice POI down as the extreme here. I wanted to see that react. We got a reaction, and now we built liquidity to the upside, and I wanted to see it being targeted either there or there. And you can see that lines up with a nice 0.5 level, right? And you can see that this, I mean, there's no real alignment up and with that one. Maybe if I just use the bodies, right? Again, sometimes I like to play around and check out the bodies, check out the wicks and see what we have more confluence with. You can see there, we have the -2. That's just poking right above that weekly high right there. And again, into that imbalance fill. So, well, that's the high there. And you can see this one right here, right at 30 or 13800s. Okay, so that's the nice big figure, the 800s figure. And so that can be a nice target for the day as well. So, but I would definitely just be looking at taking majority of the profit up at what? The daily high plus 10 pips. So if I just mark it out with this, I can see 304. So it should be 404. Okay, 1, 2. So these are probably going to be my targets for the day, honestly. If I'm just day trading, just to take up to that level, right? 3,500 level. Okay. And then, yeah, so basically as price was going on and developed from here, I wasn't too sure what was going on. And then on the smaller time frames, I went on and I saw that we had some divergence down here. Okay. So first of all, we had some divergence, ultimately really between the dollar index. Like we did get a little bit of a wick. We did get a wick, on the dollar index down, but realistically, for me, this is enough. Like I saw the development going on right here, and then we got just a tiny little purge, but right here, we've been going down. Like on the bodies, we were going down ultimately. So if anything, we made a little bit of equal highs on the dollar index, whereas here we got a nice clean sweep right into that 70 or 700s. So that's what kind of incentivized me, or I guess made me more biased to the upside now, or confirmed it based off of the weekly cycle, of course, and the daily cycle and everything like that. But it just gave me the extra confluence to say, okay, I think that this is going to be the low. Like I'm pretty confident. Additionally, what happened is we take out all this liquidity right here. And what do? We print this order block right here, right? We print this order block here that grab liquidity, right? And so inside that, you can see this nice little imbalance right there. Boom, just like that. And then realistically, I just refined it just to like this, because again, if it's going to come down, if I'm looking at this level to this level, look at that. It just lines up perfectly with our OTE setup. And so basically what I did on my demo, because again, I want to reiterate, I did not trade today. I'm not going to try and make any false claims of hitting 45R or whatever. But what I would be looking at personally is look at that. You can see right at the 300 level, right? It lines up perfectly with that daily high. It lines up perfectly with our target. Next one, we have the -2 right there, which lines up perfectly with the 10 pips above, right at the 400. And then 500 is about 20 pips above the daily high. So again, that's probably what would be my max target for the day. right at 13R. Like I think unless it was just ripping through, which it did, then I would kind of just scale up my stop loss for the day to prevent it from taking too much. Because again, we are still in an area on the higher time frame where this could easily sweep and then come right back into the range, given the news event. So that's what I was thinking, and essentially this is what happened. It came back down. You started building liquidity to both the downside and to the upside. So this was going to right here was really nice. I like that. Again, see those equal lows on those candles. There's no sweep, no nothing. You want to see a nice, decent sweep like that. You can see we get a nice sweep there. You get this nice 3 candle kind of development. And then the next level that I was looking at was this. As soon as we break above that, I see that this is going to be my breaker block right here. I also see that little imbalance in between there. And this was the last trade. And then I just put my stop just under there. Again, on demo, but still the process was there. And I would be targeting the 13500's big figure. And that's it. And let's see how we start reacting to these levels. Again, we have London high right here. We have Asian high right there. We have daily high up there. We have another high right here. So we can just start to see how it's reacting to these liquidity pools, right? So let's go. You can see tag it and go up immediately. You can see the response, right? We have some highs. We have some target level. Boom, breaks right through it. Okay. Now we're targeting those daily highs. That's the next kind of level. Boom. See how we respect that -1. So that target became actually a nice little support, which is super interesting when you pull the fibs properly. They work as kind of algorithmic targets and algorithmic supports. And you can see it again, right? Where it happens again. And again, right there, tags it. You can see fills that inbound or almost fills that imbalance right at that two target there. Let's see if it does it again. Boom, right there. Look at that. Fills that imbalance right at that 2 target. And now that's how you know you pulled the right fib, is that this is the one that the algorithms are playing off of. And so, yeah, we touch that again, touch that, and just keep breaking up. So again, this is, I mean, it's just mooning at this point. Ultimately, the most extreme point is this weekly high right here, is that this is what I would be, if I saw it going up here and I didn't take any of, or I didn't take full profits yet, I would definitely be just targeting this weekly high, because again, that's probably the last place it's going to be going up to. This is the last kind of area of support, or sorry, of resistance, right? This is the last extreme order block. There was a nice little imbalance up here. This is where that buy side liquidity is going to be resting. So that's where you can target, right? If you're buying here, you want to be targeting that buy side liquidity. And so, yeah, I think that's basically it. Let's see how it ran for the rest of the day. Right. Nice and kind of correctively after that move, not correctively, but, like just super efficiently after the main move. And it tapped that level, and that's where we're at right now. So again, this was a massive day though, right? Like if you think about it, this is 180 pips. That's like Euro's weekly range, even above the Euro's weekly range, which is pretty insane. But that was the moves for today. So you could have definitely caught some shorts down here. And then because of the daily and the weekly range, we break down immediately in London, right? We break down immediately in London. And if we're thinking of it's going to be a buy model for the day, well, then guess what's going to happen, right? We have our consolidation, our sweep down, break up, and then we close up like this. That's going to be our buy day, just like we were anticipating on this day, right? Just like we were anticipating on this day, right from the 12 midnight, and just like we were anticipating this way. Literally every single day, same daily cycle, because you have to anticipate a daily bullish candle, and we have been this whole ride up ever since from right down here, and even ever since here, we took some trades right from this bottom to take up. Okay, so we were very bullish this whole time. There was no question about it, and yeah, so I hope you guys got something out of that at least. And again, just for this coming week or this coming trading session, again, it's NFP. But what I would assume is that I don't think that this is going to break, to be totally honest. I think all this inefficiency caused by news, I think it's going to get absolutely consumed, and NFP is going to be the catalyst to do that, to push price back down. The reason why I say that again is because we have this bullish week. We need to leave a wick on this week. We've already ran so much. Again, could it rip another 300 pips? Sure. But I think the most probable scenario is that we kind of consolidate here. We wick out these highs, we stop them out, mitigate something in here, potentially like an imbalance, like up at, what's that? 1460, 625, or this wick up in here. Right there. Okay. Somewhere in that wick up at basically 469, or we'll just say 4700 is big figure. Okay. And once that happens, I think if this sets up like this, I think NFP is really going to be pushing price back down into this gap. And that's what I would assume, right? We have this nice trend line here. There's probably going to go get rinsed right there. Everyone's going to go long there and it's going to go get rinsed. So that's what I'm assuming, guys. But let's see how it plays out and let's adapt and let's be smart. So I hope you guys got something out of this one, though. It was a pretty in-depth, a little bit longer than typical, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you're getting value out of this. Again, thank you guys so much for all of the support and all the messages and the adding to the motivation to be like getting up in the morning and being consistently on and sharing my ideas and stuff. It's been really a blessing, and so thank you guys so much. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. All right, cheers, guys.